So in 2007, you go to Scribble Jam for the first time. You found out about Scribble Jam in like the year prior, right? In '06.
Right. So I went to a battle that a homie of mine, Darius, rose through, and him and his brother Dylan. And again, by this time, I had won a couple rhyme cows. Like my name was buzzing in the city as like a freestyle dude, a battle rap dude. And I didn't even know that right before my era, like so this is circa '05, '06, like '02, '03, '04, there was these dudes, Dose Noun and Ron Noodles, these two other rappers that were amazing, and they had made the Scribble and all this shit. I didn't know about this. And so I'm at this battle event, and this dude outside, and we're ciphering, and this dude takes a shot at me in the cipher, and I'm like, "Oh, man." Well, so I come back, diss him back. So we in a full-fledged battle in the street, and, I find out after the battle, like, "Oh, that's one of the judges. This is this dude, Ron Noodles." Because I was like, "Why does everyone think this dude, Ron Noodles, is crazy?" And he was dope. I end up losing in the second round of this little tournament. I legit lost. Like this dude kind of styled on me, because I was so worried about just saying everything super lyrical for a good pop, and I enunciate really well, so I'm like everyone will hear it. And so when you enunciate super well and it doesn't hit, I don't, it's just it's weird, right? So he calls me. I'm like on my, I don't know how he got my number, but he calls me. We had just left, and he's like, "Yo, man, come back." He's like, "Somebody else that was in the next round bowed out or whatever. I think you're dope," which says a lot of Ron Noodles because he could have been like, "Yo, fuck that dude. He should, do your homework. This is my shit, da whatever." And he didn't. So come back. I end up battling somebody, beating them, then battling that dude again. It was a super dope crowd, super dope everything, and winning. I think I won like $200. And then he started contacting me about being part of Jump Off. So I heard about Jump Off before I heard about Scribble. And when I saw Jump Off, I went to the library. I didn't have a computer. I'd go to the library and I was hooked. I was like, this is amazing. And I remember seeing something that said, the Saurus defeats Tut to win Scribble Jam. I was like, Scribble Jam. And I went down the rabbit hole, man. And it was, I was like, I said, I'm going to end up here. Like, this is where I need to be at.
Wow. So did you battle on Jump Off?
So Ron Noodles said, yeah, when we're trying to start a Pittsburgh division. I said, okay. And I would look at the end of all the WRC videos and it would say Ron Noodles' name would get credited. And I'm like, oh, that's fire. So I'm like, okay. So he booked, it was the first pre-written battle I did. I battled my homie Ajax, who's dope. And we did this battle out by Pitt. And there's still footage of it, you know what I mean? And we ended up, so they didn't judge it or anything at the time, the same kind of like the WRCs was doing. And we ended up using that. I used that footage to pitch to Scribble to be like, yo, let me get a spot down in Scribble or whatever. And so no, that it never came to fruition, the WRC Pittsburgh. But I went down to Scribble and there's the prelims the day before. So I got a spot in the prelims. And PH, legendary PH, he hosted the prelims and it went on solely off crowd reaction. So at the end, he'd be like, make some noise if you thought he win, make some noise if you thought he win. And I actually lost in the second round. I was like, all I had to do was win this second round. And I thought it was really close, to be honest. I can't remember. It was pretty close. Whatever. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, and they pulled me aside. They're like, look, bro, there's some people that don't show up. Hang by the gate because we think you're dope. I said, cool. So by this time, I had watched months of WRCs and I was like such a big Thesaurus fan. And so that's when, the next day, Scribble Jam day, I see Kevin Beach and me. He's like, oh, yo, buddy from last night. Yeah, come on in. We got a spot for you. I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah. And I was able to battle at this Scribble in '07.
Yeah. So when you go to a Scribble Jam, right? Like in the first round, you battled Half Blown, and you said you're tall and fat with tits. You could play in the WNBA. That shit was crazy. Did you come with
Yo,
writtens or was everything off the top?
no. So at that time, like everything is off the top. Now, at that time, however, full admission, you start to get ideas. So you see your people across the stage, and immediately you're on roast mode. You might be like, yo, bro kind of looks like Sinbad a little bit. And now all you got to do is come up. So I don't know how you would characterize that as maybe a pre-buttal, as whatever. But yeah, I cooked half blown. And then the way Scribble worked was, looking back, it's actually super dope. They don't say who wins. They just, there's a back, they go, and then you wait to hear if your name gets called. And so I had a really good idea I won the first round. I'm like, there's no idea, no way I didn't win this. And then the second round, I heard, real deal, thesaurus, a real deal. And they just say it real quick. And then you're already on the sides of the stage. And so I made it as the second round of battle thesaurus. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, I got here already. Like, you know what I mean? And I lost that one. You know what I'm saying? And then that was like a big moment for me, like learning afterwards and everything. But yeah, I remember thinking, did think at some point, like, I thought the journey would be longer to get to the final boss. Cause at that time, dude, thesaurus in that era is the scariest form of battle rapper that has ever existed, I promise you. That's above Gray Hoodie Lux, that's above, Disaster, and any, and this is no slight to any of those people. I always call him Cincinnati Sorry Pope, like, Cincinnati Saurus from that '05 to '08 was just a machine, dude, and yeah, so
You were relentless in the rounds against the Saurus, though. The way you were saying you look like Greg Popovich that couldn't stop popping zits, and you fell asleep on the cheese grater. Though, but what's so funny is like when you look at the footage, people are like commenting that they're making fun of. They're like, "Yo, why is he like breakdancing and rapping at the same time?" Because you were like running around so
insane.
much and like holding your pants up.
Insane, bro, with the red, black Echo hoodie or shirt, dude, like, because I watched a lot of Scribble Jam footage, and all of those that the cloth that I was cut from, like, those white dudes, they just bounced around a lot, your Mac Lethals. Now, your Mac Lethal didn't bounce around that much, so I didn't realize how much I was bouncing around till the footage came out. I thought I was like Idea, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I was moving a lot, and, you deliver your line, you're in like almost like a umpire stance like this in front, and so it wasn't until I watched it back, I was like, "Damn, I am moving around, like, a lot. I'm making full figure eights and shit," and, yeah, yeah, the Scribble Jam, I made sure in '08, although no footage exists, to cut the jumping around to at least, at least cut back half of it.
Right. I didn't think the Source's first verse was the best. At that point, I was like, "Yo, real, he's doing good. He's got a chance right here." And then his second verse was really the problem. The way
Yeah.
he ended that was where I was like, "Damn!" Like,
And
like,
I think I went to shake his hand too when he's like, "Imma shake your hand and tell you you're lost," and I was
yeah, right.
like an idiot. Yeah, 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 he beat the shit out of me that second round. I mean, if let's say, let's say at best, for in my case, he rope-a-doped me. Let's say the first round, okay, maybe, I guess out of the 2, maybe I had the more direct. Second round, he packed me smooth the fuck up. But I come back to that battle as being so important because I left on a high note. I said, "Man, people are gonna be like, 'Yo, dude was dope, blah, blah, blah.'" I had 0 experience with online criticism. And so, keep in mind, I was going to the library every day to check out battle footage. I didn't have a computer. So I was waiting every day. And in my head, this battle would drop and there'd be a new star in Scribble. They'd be like, "Look, Source won, but look out for this dude." And it did not happen that way, bro. I was signing up for the computer. And I remember one day the half blown footage came out and there was like a couple comments like, "Oh, this is cool. Cool. Oh, yeah, buddy won." And when I say footage, I don't this some dude would just record it on, like, a phone or some shit.
I don't even think a phone. I think it was, a video camera
Yeah,
at the time,
yeah,
right?
and so when the thesaurus joint dropped, I log in, and you can log in for 30 minutes, and I get on, and in the corner, it's like 30 minutes, and I click, and I'm just looking at the comments, and they're just like, buddy's jumping around. He should kill himself. This is the wackest dude I've ever heard. The hell with this pussy ass dude. And I just was like stunned. And then I look at the time and it's just like 28 minutes and 30 seconds left. I'm like, nope, I logged out. And at that point, I was done battle rap. I'm like, yeah, I learned my lesson. I was like, I was a big fish in a small pond. I was like, this is because I was really putting stock into what these idiots were saying.
Right.
And it wasn't until I come back the next year, I won a preliminary to reserve my spot. I won it in Cleveland. And I go and No Can Do. I see Sonny Bamboo and I see No Can Do. And Sonny Bamboo's like, yo, we want you in this grind time shit we're doing in the Midwest. I said, man, that'd be amazing. He was like, yeah, you battled the Source right last year. I was like, yeah. He goes, why you say it like that? You were dope. I was like, yeah, but he's like, dude, he beat all of us. Who gives a shit? He was like, you were dope.
Dude, he was the
And when I
champion the year before
dude,
then.
he was so the year he won and he won the year at this year and
Yeah.
oh wait. And No Can Do was just like, yo, yeah, you were buddy with the red and black? Yeah, you're dope. And again, I was like, it all occurred to me like, man, I was looking for the wrong validation. So Scribble '08, I made it to the second round again and whatever, what have you. But the funny thing is, if you ever see me addressing negative criticism about battle rap online and you're like, damn, Real Deal's kind of he's cool, but he's kind of a dick to people like this. Know that this is why. So years later, probably a couple years ago, I got drunk and went back to the Thesaurus battle. And I would comment under people's comments. They'd be like, that dude's whack. I'm like, yeah, am I still fucking whack right now, bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I was like, but the funniest thing is when I went back, the comments weren't that bad. And I'm like, did I create like a Jordan scenario? They weren't great for me. Don't get me wrong. They weren't what I thought they were going to be at first, but I remember them being harsher. Unless
Well,
people
you gotta
delete.
remember that that was like the first of its kind. We didn't have like social media on this kind of
Yeah.
level where you had people talking. Well, I mean, we did have the forums and everything, and people would talk shit, but like this was a little different. Like this guy's watching me and he's saying this shit about me. Like, yo,
Yeah.
this is
And I didn't know
terrible, you
about the
know?
forums until circa here's what you were talking about. So I was all like, I'm talking about those like rap music boards. I didn't know about that until after my first grind time, like, or up around the grind time. Like my scribble was already done.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean it was again, it was I was about to be done battle rap. I was like, oh shit, the battle guy 777 just said I'm ass. Maybe I'm ass. Like, you know what I mean? And
I
you're
mean, because
right.
the
It was a
period
new.
that you're talking about, like, you're coming off of, okay, there's MySpace, right? But most people that are visiting your MySpace aren't necessarily dropping like a comp. They probably know you. They're not dropping a comment like talking shit to you or something like that. So, like
This
this is
is I was gonna say this is '07. What was MySpace? '06. So this is maybe right in the thick of things for MySpace, right? Is
right.
that
That's what
fair
I'm
enough?
saying. But like,
Yeah.
that's what your frame of reference is coming from. Like, oh, this is how we're interacting online. It's not like now when you look back, it's gonna seem like, mild because of what we
Yeah.
are,
Good call.
seeing all the time online where people are like, I hope your kids die. And, in the
Yeah,
comments, like,
bro.
like they say the worst stuff online. Like, I don't know about you, but I see the most racist stuff online compared to in person.
I see the most racist stuff under news stories, Facebook pages. That's where if you really
Yeah.
wanna find, like, real scumbags,
Yeah.
like, but yeah, online, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
say race because usually, like, to me, like, a racist is like pretty much like the worst you could be besides like a or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, right,
So it's
right,
like kind
right.
of like there.
But
That's what I would say.
those ones aren't as out and proud of it.
Right, right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the racist people, sadly, like, some of the like, a lot of these idiots are, like, wear it like a badge of honor, and, like, it is deplorable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was the Scribble experience and, '08, I don't know if very little footage has ever come out of '08. I beat Alpha Male, and I lost a close one to Kid Twist, and then Thesaurus just thesaurused through everybody, like,
Wait, wait. So why was there no footage of that though?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Man, I gotta
I
get Dibbs on the phone to ask him to be like, "Yo, where's this footage at?"
I know, bro. I think there was a little bit of, like, I think Tantrum and because Tantrum was really good that year. I remember
Yeah, he
Awkward
was.
came back and he did really good. Everybody Knows was in it and he did really good, and No Can, I feel like the Source beat No Can, but I think it was funny because I felt like No Can kept winning, but, like, didn't seem to even wanna win. Like, he would just be
Mm.
smoking a cigarette up there and, like, casually beat someone, and a couple of them I did. Oh, so this happened at that free that was the one that Franco went nuts on somebody, like, so
For
I al
2008?
2008.
Okay.
So I always bring up this comparison. I say, with Scribble Jam, I think I was around to see the death of the freestyle battle rap era. And I always compare it to the movie Almost Famous, where the kid calls Philip Seymour Hoffman and he goes, "Well, kid, you came around at the worst time. Rock and roll's dying. Like it's that this is the last hurrah or whatever." And so I say that because of the the amount of pre-meds and pre and all this thing. But the one thing was MySpace had come out, and MySpace was announcing the Scribble Jam winners in each, uh, prelim. So now, whereas before, unless someone was a Scribble veteran or you saw them the day before, like, you didn't really know everyone. Now you know. So at least you got a name. And if you got a flippable name, you could get 4 heavy haymakers in 2 rounds out of it, and that's enough to win you a thing. So, not that on top of pre-med. So anyhow, Franco's in it, and there's this guy that wins in New York's, bracket named Storyville, and Franco is too he stuck to his guns with freestyling. Like, that was a freestyling ass dude, man. Like, he refused to do the whole adapting thing. I know he did a couple grind time battles, but he was a freestyling dude, man. You know what I mean? And so he gets beat in the first round by a dude that, I mean, dude didn't say some incredible shit, but he kind of knew that Franco was there every year, and it looked more like I don't want to say he had maybe he did. So Franco loses, and they're backstage, and I guess Franco says, "Yo, man, good shit," or something. If you I don't know if you ever know about Franco's, but he's like a short, like, kinda like, head like, he's, like, really busybody kinda dude, kinda, and I guess he's like and the dude's Storyville was super cool, and I guess he was humbled. He's like, "Yo, man, thanks, bro," and he was like, "But you'll always be whack as fuck, and you'll never fucking be better than me in the rest of your ever in your life," or something. He, like, walks away like he's so mad that he lost a battle in, like, the passing of the torch kinda shit, of freestyle to, like,
Wait, who
he
says that?
Franco says this to this dude Storyville. He's
He
like, "Yo,
says
good shit,
you're
man."
whack as fuck and
He
you
was like, "Yeah, but you're whack as fuck. You'll never be better than me in your entire life," or something. He just has, like, this wild ass moment, bro, and, like, it was like, and I guess Storyville was like, "Whatever, dude," like, you know what I mean? But it was fucking, yeah, he was pissed, bro, because
Damn.
he was, like I said, he was a true through and through. If you recall '07, he beat the Saurus by, like, pulling the Saurus's card about a recycled bar.
Right.
And he was just through and through free. He was freestyling his ass off, man. And yeah, but it was
Right, because wasn't the finals Franco versus No Can Do for 2007, right?
in '07. Yep.
And No Can Do
Yep.
won, and that's crazy.
And didn't No Can get an extra verse or for some shit? So I guess, like, maybe something happened where if either Franco's mic, he dropped the mic, and then fucking No Can rapped another some crazy shit that should have never went down. But yeah, Franco ends up beating. I got beat, and then the Source might have beat somebody after me, and then Franco beat him, or I can't remember how it shook out, but there was a big moment where he the Source had already battled Franco. They're already out west, and I guess he tried to say a line he already said, and Franco predicted it to the crowd. He was like, "Don't react to that," and they were like, "What?" And it was like a big thing. So for him to lose in '08, and a lot of thing I remember Storyville saying was something like, you battle in Scribble Jam and you lose every fucking year. And he was just really loud and enunciating, and Franco just rapped. And I guess Franco couldn't believe that, but it was a trip.
Wow, man. So are you in the documentary?
I don't know. I saw Dibbs when he came with Atmosphere and Sage and shit that came to the Berg. I chopped it up with Dibbs and he told me about it. And then so they have a page, and it was like, submit your stories or whatever. I was like, all right, boom. So I submitted a couple little stories. I don't know if he'll use them or not. I mean, to be completely transparent, there's certainly people with longer histories in Scribble, more crazier stories. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I definitely was around for the tail end of it. Um, and it was cool though. It was awesome. It was a really, really, really cool ass thing to be a part of. Like I wouldn't change it, you know. So it was
You
definitely
gotta
like
show
we made
so
it.
much love to those guys because it was so much work and they didn't make money off of it, bro. It was strictly for the culture, like a real love for the culture. You know what I mean? Like,
It was
bro,
so
Dibbs
fire,
is such a
bro.
solid dude too, man. Shout out to Mr.
Thanks,
Dibbs,
bro.
man.
Facts, bro. But yeah, it was like I said, man, for somebody like me from Pittsburgh, like, and I always tell people this, I'm from PA, and it's never an attempt to discredit Philly or like battle rappers from that era across the state, but that wasn't my inspiration. That wasn't what I listened to battle rap wise to come up. If it wasn't for a Dibbs Scribble Jam kind of shit, I don't know where I would be at. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't listen to Reed on the corner, Meek Mills and shit like, and that's not to say they're not phenomenal and they didn't change lives and everything, but that was, a kid from Pittsburgh. That was what, and to think about it, like I said, I didn't even know Dose and Noodles battled in Scribble until way after they did. So it wasn't like
Mhm.
I could, I'm following in their footsteps. Like I didn't even know.